My name is Johann and I am from class 6, section Silver B. I am going to tell you about the summary of Swiss Family Robinson wrote by John David Wyss. Let's start. Chapter 1. Lieutenant Bell has been a sailor for many years and he has faced a lot of difficulties. Said that it is very dangerous and to stop traveling on his voyages. But Lieutenant Bell has been a sailor for many years. He spent a long time at sea and he's faced a lot of difficulties on his voyages. His wife keeps begging him not to go on those dangerous voyages. The answer was always, if you love me, then you know what you ask is impossible. During his last trip, Lieutenant Bell kept remembering his wife's words. The ship struggled and after a few weeks, there was found land ahead. Lieutenant Bell called one of the men as he came out of a small forest nearby. He rushed towards the officer, followed by a middle-aged stranger dressed in European clothes and carrying a big leather bag. The stranger looked friendly, but even though he had a gun. The man said in a trembling voice, finally, after all these years, thank God you are here. Lieutenant Bell said, my goodness, it's Robinson Crusoe itself. The man was a Swiss pastor who had been shipwrecked with his wife and 4 children when their ship crashed onto a rock. The crew had disappeared in the storm and they were nowhere to be seen. Then he took out a diary out of his bag and put it in Lieutenant Bell's hands. He said that this is our story. The storm that the pastor's family had been caught in was similar to the one they had been. The pastor was with his wife and his 4 children. For 7 days the ship fought with the monstrous waves. Then they could hear a voice land ahead and the lifeboats gutted, filling up quickly. So the pastor went to get his wife, but the lifeboats there were no lifeboats on the ship left. Then the pastor took very large oil barrels, tied them together, and then took his sons and wife to the island. Now ashore, once they found a river with fresh water nearby, they decided that this would be the most convenient place to pitch a tent. They used sailcloth from the ship for the tent and fishing hooks to fasten the entrance. Jack, the son of the pastor, went to the sea to look for shellfish that could be served for dinner. It was not long before they heard a scream coming from the sea. The pastor rushed to see what was happening, only to find Jack up to his knees in the water with a lobster clapping his legs. The pastor said, "So you have found us food, Jack," laughed the pastor. Then the pastor and the eldest of the brothers went into the forest to look for the missing crew. They then found some coconuts in the forest, but they could not reach it. Then they saw some monkeys. They started throwing rocks at them, and the monkeys started also copying them and started throwing the food back. The pastor said, "It's raining coconuts," and then they ran behind a rock. When they were going back home, they saw some gourds hanging on the tree. They took the gourds and started to make plates and bottles when they heard the growl of Pontark, their dog. When they went to see what had happened, they saw that Turk was feasting on a monkey and the baby monkey was hiding in the bush. When the baby monkey saw the elder brother, he jumped in his arms. The elder brother, to make it comfortable, also hugged it. The pastor went back to the ship. He took two large casks and placed them on each animal's head, then put them in the water one by one. The animals started floating, and by the help of the raft they went back to the sea, but on their way they saw a shark's fin, and the elder boy started screaming. The father and son took out their guns and shot the shark. The shark went away leaving a red trail behind. Then they started building a house. When they came back on land on trees to be safe from the animals. So they started building a house, and when the house was finished, it was very beautiful, like a nest. They called it Falcon's Nest. One day the pastor was returning home when there was complete silence. He was shocked because there was not silence. Then he went to investigate. Then he saw his wife laying on the bed with her eyes closed and screaming. The children beside her were crying. The pastor asked his children what had happened. The children started speaking at once, so he could not understand. Then a child started speaking. He said that the mother had fallen and swollen her left foot and right leg. The pastor went to look for some aids and found a first aid kit. Then he went and started to treat his wife. Winter came and they went on top of a mountain and started digging it. After 7 days, the dig was done, and a child made a small hole in the wall of the cave. The smell was disgusting in there, so they made a fire, and there were big explosions and little explosions. Then they went in to see what was there, and then when they went in, they saw a large table of gems, and gems were everywhere. The mother was admiring the view from outside, but the surprise was inside. When she came in, she started crying, and then she said, "We are the richest people in the world." Very good novel, and I liked it very much. It inspires me a lot to learn more about novels. Thank you.